everyone. Welcome to another episode of Football Moshla Podcast. We are back after I don't know how long, 6 weeks or so, or more than a month and a half, almost 2 months. This has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with me.
Guilty.
Uh,
Guilty as charged, guys.
Fardan, actually, he went around the world, went to Bangladesh and came, and he still did a podcast there. But for whatever reason, after the last 2 months, he didn't want to do any of it. Maybe because he didn't want to share his secrets with his mini league team members. Very competitive. That's why I stopped playing that mini league, because when I do the podcast and you're competing with your peers or somebody, like even with Fardan, you don't want to do that. So that people don't take you into consideration, you just go to the number 10 position. That's the
I,
best position.
I think you're forgetting about Ramadan.
No. Ramadan is like you can just do it after iftar. You can just go in snooze mood, and or after tarawih, just do that,
There
or
were at
before
least
suhoor or before sehri.
there were
You
at
can do
least
that.
three at least 3 days we tried to record. Adil was locked in and ready, but I was saying yes, I got it. But the sleep that would hit after Taraweeh, after coming home, I could not. I apologize, guys. For me, we've been away, and it's not about the mini league thing that he mentioned. Not at all, because I'm totally okay with talking about FPL. I'm obsessed with FPL. So today we're here to talk about the upcoming blank game week 34. Before that, we have gone through two double game weeks, and we're right now recording with one game to go in double game week 33, which is Arsenal Crystal Palace tomorrow. And we just witnessed Manchester City and Aston Villa, which was disappointing for Manchester City managers with the Manchester City assets, because I tried to be clever and went for Kevin De Bruyne as my captain. And he did come close to scoring in both games, but he was not there, and not even Marmoush. And we got the scores of like O'Reilly and Matthias Nunez, who were unlikely. They're not likely FPL assets.
Well, that's where an FPL astrologer comes into play, and then that person can pick Nunez, so that they can do it. I mean, I've seen people doubling up on Guardiola and Ruben Diaz.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that became
I'm
a
like,
very popular.
I was like, where does Ruben Diaz fits in this? I mean, I'm in no way FPL expert. There are other content creators, but man, the Ruben Diaz pick is just a double game week blindness for me.
It, it's
Uh,
it. I feel like it was a brave call, because Aston Villa are known to score. Manchester City are known to leak goals, but the sad part is it came off of a penalty, and because of Ruben Dias as well. So which means if Ruben Dias was careful, maybe they would have been a 2-0 victory, and then whoever doubled up on the two defensive assets, they would have had a 14, 15 point cushion in their mini league and everywhere else.
hmm. See, that's why I don't play that thing. But so now we're looking into the blank game week 34. So my question to you is, somebody who doesn't have any chips available, I think we should still be able to play assistant manager multiple times during the season. It should not be only one time. Because by the look of it, the way you have played it, I think you need more than one chance. So, I mean, I was one of the first ones who played it first, and I somehow survived. I went with the safe bet. But the way you experimented with it, man,
Which
we
ship
should
are you talking about?
the assistant manager chip.
Oh right. Oh my goodness, guys! I have to tell you, if you, in case you're interested in my adventure, this is my last week with the assistant manager chip. The first week, I told Adil I'll go with like a safe bet. Everybody told me go with a safe team. I went with Graham Potter of West Ham, who
because
played
you thought
Bournemouth.
that because you thought
And
that Harry Potter magic will be there because it's a Potter last name.
yes, Potter last name, Ministry of Magic. So West Ham did come back with a 1-1 draw, and they were on the brink of a 2-1 win. And I was very excited. I was thinking I was on track for a 20-pointer until they conceded the second goal, and 2-2. It was still not bad. I think I scored about 12 points from Graham Potter. which was also unexpected because Adil got really excited and he hit me up. He's like, Potter, really? Because we talked about like a slot or like a how or someone like that. But I went rogue, like just like my last minute jitters that I get before the deadline. And everybody's recommendation was to go for the safe bet. How? For the double game week 33 for Newcastle. Even my friends, my FPL peers, Adil included, said go for how. That's good. And all the content creators who are better off in better rankings, they said go for how. He's a safe bet. But the greed kicked in and I went for Glasner for the table bonus. And I got a measly 2 points from two games, which was terrible. They got absolutely thrashed by Newcastle. And Newcastle, Eddie Howe scored 23 points in two
Mm,
matches, which leaves me behind 21 points. That 21 points would have helped me with global rank and even rank in my mini league, but it is what it is.
mm. I mean, I'm glad that you didn't try Amorim. Maybe you should have tried Amorim in the Europa League. Anyways, so again, if Fardan is low on energy, please disregard that part because it's not that he's a little bit under the weather. It's because of the assistant manager chip and those negative 21 points or loss of 21 points that he couldn't cover up. That's the reason he's a little bit low on energy. And also, if I sound like not my usual self and I'm a little bit under the weather, that's because we both are. And this is the only slot that we got to actually do a podcast after 6 weeks. So we said that why not? Let's roll with it. So if our voice sounds a little therapeutic, please bear with it.
Yes, welcome
Now,
to ASMR Moshla Podcast.
ASMR বাংলাটা বলো তখন
স্বরীয় দন্ত স ম বয়সের আরো।
I should have done a lame joke stand-up comedy. A lame comedy stand-up show. বুঝছো? So ওইটা ASMR podcast হয়ে যাবে. মশলা ASMR. আচ্ছা, so now, Blank Gaming 34. What do you got?
So the question was, if you don't have a chip, if you
Mm,
don't have a chip, which means the chip that's going to be very popular worldwide is going to be the free hit chip.
mm,
Free hit
mm,
was when you it's like a wild card, but it's not really a wild card because you're setting up a team with free transfers only for that week, and right
mm.
after the week resets, your team resets back to the team that you had before you played the free hit. And in this season, I think you're going to save a transfer as well, which means in game week 35, you'll have two free transfers. I didn't know. I don't think you know. I'm not sure if you know that, Adil.
No, hell no. I played that thing in game week 9. Inexperience speaks bravely, you know?
Let's just call it brave. Moving forward, so that's the free hit chip. But if you don't have a chip, you have to kind of have at least 9 to 10 players, which is also a big problem because all the players that are blanking have doubled this week, which
Hmm.
is Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Manchester City, Newcastle. So I know people who have had 12 players, three from each team, just so that they can maximize on those points. And the same thing I have said before in our previous episodes. The single game weekers, you cannot let them go by. And we saw the impact of players such as Brian Mbumo and Yohan Wissa, who came in like big hauls for this game week. And we know people who benefited from it. I, for example, got Luis Diaz in thinking that he would annihilate Leicester. He would wreak havoc, like I mentioned in our conversation, Adil. But
Hmm.
that didn't happen. A lot of people captained Mo Salah. That didn't happen. So in terms of luck, in terms of the top captainers, they have not really scored yet. Saka is still up for grabs for tomorrow's match against Crystal Palace, which is statistically in Arsenal's favor. But with Saka's minutes being managed, we're not sure how many minutes he'll play. But with Crystal Palace, how they're underperforming, Saka is on up there. Speaking of blank game week 34, all these players are going to be missing because they're going to blank. So who do you bring in? The best fixtures are with, Wolves, who are entertaining Leicester at home. Then there's Newcastle, who are entertaining Ipswich at home. Liverpool, Tottenham at home, and we know Tottenham can be very bad in the Premier League because, as Adil said earlier to me today, they're kind of giving up on the Premier League and all their focus is on Europa.
Hmm.
There's another good fixture that's Fulham facing Southampton. But then again, Fulham are very hit or miss in terms of FPL. So if you are racking up on people, if you don't have free hit, you have to make sure that you have planned before and you have loaded up on Liverpool, Newcastle, Wolves assets because 333 are 9 assets and you can go buy. For example, I have Verbruggen as my keeper, and I'm not even.
Sorry, sorry. The only
So the reason why
player,
he's laughing, we'll get to it. Definitely, we'll get to it.
the only player who
Um,
got him wild in a wild card.
yes, I did. So, Verbruggen is playing West Ham at home, and we know West Ham are also tend to struggle away from home. So I'm really expecting a clean sheet from Verbruggen, but I shouldn't because I suffered when Brighton let go of 2 goals against Leicester City, who has not scored in 8 matches. And I was ready with my 6 points. I was like, that's it, I have it, baby. But that 2 goals really made me really, really mad. And I vented my frustration on Adil, and who is laughing now. But anyways, so Verbruggen is gonna be my keeper. I'm thinking of not using my free hit chip, which is a disclaimer, because I have been planning on not playing the Gameweek 34 free hit. Um, Call me crazy, but my tactic is to actually go more on points on a different week, which I don't think is statistically possible because if I did not play assistant manager between game week 31 to 33, I could have bench boosted on 33, which was the most popular um,
Bench boost.
chip.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I did some math and I saw that even if I played bench boost, my bench didn't really give me that much points. So in a way, it's okay. So I have to target and plan in such a way where between 35 and 38, I can play bench boost for a certain game week. So that is the trick for a non-free hit manager to load up or to make sure you have had player from Wolves, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle. There are some Chelsea assets with Everton at home. I think Pedro Neto is the only player from
Hmm.
Chelsea you can bank on with Palmer being off form. He has not been as prolific as he was last season, and that's pretty much it for non-free hit.
Oh, okay. So let's say just going through that list, I will mention that you mentioned Fulham versus Southampton. So Robinson is a pick, right, for defense and assists and stuff like that. But
Definitely,
there's another pick, £4.1 million, Ryan Sessegnon, a defender played out of position. He's playing as a wing back, giving assists. So if you guys want to take a punt, 1 week punt, you can use that. Where it can enable other high end picks, right, like a Saka
definitely,
or a Luis Diaz or a Palmer, even with the 4.1 of Sessegnon. The only thing that I can say is that a lot of people are looking into Ait Nouri. They have already brought him in, which is great because he's gonna probably have a clean sheet against Leicester, right? Another thing, you can stock up on Bournemouth assets as well because they're playing home to Manchester United. I don't see I don't see Manchester United doing anything. They're gonna play the kids in because they're gonna focus on the Europa League like Tottenham. So you're gonna have a clean sheet chance like Kirkaz, Semenyo, even Clivert, Evan Nilsson, even Dango to an extent. So because Manchester United will definitely play the kids. I don't think, and they already gave up against Wolves, and that 3-5-2 formation doesn't suit anybody in that club. We will be lucky to go past Bilbao and reach the final. But having said that, we didn't do a podcast after their amazing comeback against Lyon. Just to giving a shout out. That's from a neutral point of view. That was a classic. That was a great match. And in the extra time, the 3-5-2 formation went out of the window. They went all out. And that's what they should do because that team focuses on direct passing and long balls. Forget that 3-5-2 formation. If you want to win the Europa League, go all out. Um, but that's a different topic. That's a different podcast. But just throwing it out there. But yes, you can heavily stock up on Bournemouth assets against Manchester United. And then there is also this thing about Isaac. He seems like a little bit off form, right? But he is home to Ipswich. So now we can easily talk about captaincy, right? So is there a chance of him being captain, or are we just going to go with a safe bet of Mohamed Salah being captain against home to Tottenham, or even Cunha home to Leicester?
I think Salah, Cunha, and Isak will be the most popular picks
Mm,
this game week. Yeah, I think Murphy is a great shout as well because I will be considering Murphy as my captain. But the only thing about Murphy is that when he delivers, he delivers. When he doesn't, he severely underdelivers. So, and I think Murphy relies a lot on Barnes, but Barnes, we know he might not play this game because Gordon is coming back.
yeah.
So it will be really interesting to how Gordon comes back and gels with the team,
Mhm,
and for and for Murphy to be able to do what he's been doing for the last few weeks. And Isak's form definitely have been off. His heat map also suggests otherwise. But, with his threat against a team like Ipswich, you would have to bank on Isak's numbers.
mm. And what about let's say Luis Diaz? Give him one chance against Tottenham.
With Luis Diaz is definitely another very good differential captain pick. Someone I would again consider because with me, based on my position in my mini league, the only thing that's been working for me are differential captain picks. Other than that, for example, Kevin De Bruyne, even if he scored one assist or a goal, it would have helped me, but it didn't. So with Luis Diaz and Murphy, I'll be again, you know, running around like a headless chicken before the deadline, thinking who should I do it, until, it goes back to Salah. Salah has missed seven big chances in his last match against, his last match was against
Leicester.
Leicester, thank you. And that's he would have easily scored a hat trick, but he didn't. Bad
Mm,
luck or whatever you might call it, or maybe the ever since they were out of the Champions League, he was not as good. Maybe mentally he took a beat down, and he's not as present as he was. He's not as effective as he was for
he just
Liverpool.
signed. He got the contract. He doesn't have to worry about it. Ramadan and
Yeah.
contract. That's it.
So even Gakpo, someone who looked so good with the injuries and the hamstring and whatever he had, he's not there. Luis Diaz runs around, he works hard. He deserves a goal every game. And when I have him in my team, he just doesn't. So
Yeah,
that's been a problem.
yeah, yeah. So, and lastly, honorable mention because we did a lot with Palmer in the beginning. Palmer, no, right? He should not be in the team. He should not be captain.
Palmer, you can
Oh,
definitely have in the team. Since
oh,
it's a free hit,
mhm.
you can definitely have in the team if your budget allows to. But then again, with Isak, Salah, Palmer, all these people coming in, if you can manage your budget, because technically all the premiums are gone, right? There are no Manchester City assets, there are no Aston Villa, there's no Arsenal, so there's no Saka, Haaland, Marmoush, Kevin De Bruyne, Gavardiol. So there's a lot of money that you can throw around in this game. So, for example, if I had to pick a goalkeeper this week, I would probably go for Pope or
Hmm.
the keeper for Wolves. I think it's Jose Sa.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
Jose
any
Sa.
one of those goalkeepers would be a great goalkeeper pick.
Yeah, and defense. I think you can either have Robinson, Livramento, Ait Nouri, even Carquez, right? You can have
Definitely,
those.
yeah.
So,
All the players you mentioned are great picks. Lewis Dunk, Kerkez, Ait Nouri, Anthony Robinson, any Liverpool defender, maybe Virgil van Dijk,
hmm.
or yeah, Virgil van Dijk. Trent scored a brilliant goal, so Trent, you can. I'm pretty sure he's gonna start this game. Cucurella is a shout, but Everton, they somehow score goals, so Cucurella is also an option. Other than that, I would not take any Man U defender. Nottingham Forest with Brentford. Brentford has been, a spark. They're when they play, they play. When they don't, they're done. So I will probably not have any Nottingham Forest defender. But the problem is, I have Milenkovic, and I have to play him.
So Brentford is an interesting case, right? Wissa and Mbumo came to form last game week. Now, will they? Is like we're not looking into 34. Let's say if you want to look into the till the end of the season, this is a difficult choice, right? They gotta. I mean, if are you gonna hold on to if you have Mbumo? I mean, Nottingham Forest and then home to Manchester United. Maybe home to Manchester United, Wissa and Mbumo will do good, and then away to Ipswich.
Yeah, 35 and 36 is Manchester United and Ipswich.
Yeah.
So both games, I can totally see Wissa and Mbumo going crazy. I can totally see that.
And then home to Fulham and away to Wolves to wrap up the season.
Yeah,
So
you can hold
Brentford,
on to them till the end.
yeah, okay. So that's a good option for a lot of people out there. All right, so we have covered game week 34. Is there any other things that you want to cover?
You want to talk about a player from Wolves?
Yeah, I know. We're gonna transition to this guy called Matthias Cunha, who is almost in the process of agreeing personal terms with Manchester United, or he's gonna be transferred to Manchester United in the summer. That's the rumor that's coming out from multiple sources. Fabrizio Romano is the one who actually broke that news. Others followed it up. So, and it all, and Ruben Amorim has been talking to him quite a lot after the game and whatever. So, looks like he's going to be the number 10 for Manchester United going forward into next season. So, FPL, another year of Cunha in the FPL, but this time for Manchester United. Finally, we will be able to select a striker from Manchester United in the FPL. That means that there's been rumors also. Gyökeres is not coming to Manchester United, maybe going to Arsenal. Um, Liam Delap coming to Manchester United. Victor Osimhen to Manchester United. Either one of them will come to Manchester United. They cannot get both of them. But Arsenal going after Gyökeres is pretty good. If Mourinho can win them the Champions League, Gyökeres will be a better one. Shout out to Arsenal for actually defeating Real Madrid. That
For
well
sure.
deserved. But
Absolutely.
now the fun starts. Semifinals of that, and yeah, a lot of players are going to be moving. Marcus Rashford looks like he's done with Manchester United. Mason Greenwood, we have never spoken about him. He's done with Manchester United. He's going to move on, maybe to Atletico Madrid from Olympique Marseille. So yeah, there's a bit of a there's going to be a whole episode of running around. But Matheus Cunha will fit the 3-5-2 system according to pundits because he's playing in that system at Wolves. But I just don't see 3-5-2 working. I mean, how many players are you going to change to make that system work?
It's
You
so
need a whole
true, yeah. It's really
you need a
true.
whole set of players. I mean, Harry Maguire is the one who's going to fit that system with three at the back, but you need two fast center backs alongside him, and then two fast wingers, and then center mid is the problem. Ugarte and Casemiro will not cut it in the Premier League. Mainu doesn't cut it, so you need. I mean, there's rumors of Ederson from Atalanta coming to. He's a Brazilian defensive mid coming to Manchester United, replacing Casemiro and whatnot. So these are the stuff that's going around. But Arsenal is going to definitely looking at striker options. There's something Real Madrid. Another Marshall thing is that Real Madrid might get rid of Ancelotti before the end of the season if they lose the Copa del Rey to Barcelona, or if they lose the league. Then there's Club World Cup that's coming up. So yeah, Real Madrid might have a new manager. That's Xabi Alonso is rumored to take over. There were rumors of Jurgen Klopp, but that didn't go far. So Xabi Alonso. Again, another 3-5-2 formation coming to Real Madrid. I don't know how those players will fit. But that's a different topic for a different podcast. And that's it. That's it for today, I guess, right? Do we have
Yeah,
anything else?
we have covered Game Week 34, and I wish everybody all the best. Knock yourself out with free hit, and may the best manager progress through in Game Week 34.
And you want to say something to the mini league folks, to
Oh,
to to like
yeah.
to your competitors, because I think the top four is going to rotate. The five and everyone stays in their position after that.
I think our mini league, whatever happens, top three would remain. They will shuffle among themselves.
Yeah.
I'll probably, if somebody takes me over, it's gonna be probably number 5 or number 6, or I'm at the risk of staying at number 4 rest of the season.
Well, this season I stopped playing because of this podcast and Fardan, so that I don't have to compete. Next season, top four coming after top four. Okay, just saying that with Matthew Cunha as my striker if he comes to Manchester United,
Captain every week.
captain every week. Or we could just do one better. Since this is inexperienced, now I got a lot of experience. I'm just gonna follow Fardan's team and copy and paste it.
Oh my god.
from game week first to game week the 38. First game week to 30, game week 38. Copy and paste his team. That's it. Let's see what the
That's a big
system.
compliment, but this season I didn't do that good.
But still, it's like people copy paste each other's teams, man.
That's been a problem, yes.
And next season, maybe we will use AI to select our teams.
Oh, good, very good idea.
There is another. There was a guy who actually did that, and his AI picked his team.
Nice.
So yeah, next season, Matthew Cunha, Liam Delap. There's strikers. Yeah, if Victor
Double United
Osho,
attack.
huh?
Double United attack.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I'll start with United picks, and then I'm gonna play my wild card early. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching, and we will be back with more episodes, but that's all depends on Fardan. I guess that depends on me. If he wants to reveal his secrets to the world of FPL secrets, then
That's
definitely,
not the problem.
then definitely we can do more episodes of that. Like today he mentioned, I think you pretty much gave your team out, right?
I
Pretty
did.
much.
I gave my team out. Yes.
Yes, so that was a bold move. So he knows that he's not going to be first in the mini league, so he gave his team out.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode, next podcast. Take care.
Take care, everybody.